Alright, what's up YouTube? It's your boy DJ Hillrunner, and this is gonna be my first ever tutorial. Um, Bit of backstory. I feel like crap today, and I don't want to fucking bang my head against music, but yesterday, and the day before, I started working on this crazy fucking banger. It's still not quite done, but it's great so far. And yeah, so this is gonna be a tutorial on how to make this deep Skrillex vocoded fucking basses. No, not a bass. The deep Skrillex vocoded fucking vocals. And yeah, so let's fucking jump right into it. Check it out. This is the track here. So I guess I'll start a bit before the verse.
Fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama.
Alright, you guys get the fucking idea. So, this is the vocal we're working with once I fucking find it. Oh look, main voice.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Go fuck you if you wanna, or not I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Go fuck you if you wanna, or not I fuck your mama. Smoking all.
Alright, and I guess I'm gonna show you how to fucking make that. So, Control T puts in an audio track. So, step one, arm to record, and step two, Jamaican accent. Smoking all the... I fucked that up. Okay. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. That sounds pretty good. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Yeah, that sounds good. And then, so the real step one is you look at your fucking different modes for your warp modes. You go to Complex Pro. And so what this does is it allows you to pitch it down, but it keeps the formants. So it sounds the same, but lower. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck you. And then you can play with the number of formants, like...
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get it nice and resonant over here. And then a couple different techniques I used. This isn't gonna sound exactly like the way I did it before because I worked on this fucking wiener up here for a couple hours. But I'm going to go over the main things. So the most important thing was the fucking formant mode thing, Complex Pro. And then second thing, of course, I used a bit of auto-tune. So if you know Melda Production, hold on, plugins. Yeah, so Melda Production, they make a whole bunch of free fucking plugins, and they're kind of fire. Um, so yeah, get that shit, because free stuff is part of your power as a producer. Like, yeah, we live in a world of free stuff. Even my rent is free because I have a girlfriend. No, just kidding. I don't have a girlfriend and I pay my rent. But yeah, I think we're in D major. Uh,
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, go fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama.
so yeah, we got that bit of auto tune.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
I probably did vocoder next. Audio effects, vocoder. Yeah, so it took me a really long time to figure out how to make Ableton's vocoder work. Um, why? Because it's hard.
Smoking all the ganja, the
What I figured out is I have to put the bands really low.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, go fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama.
And then take the depth down. And then.
Smoking all the ganja, smoking all the ganja.
And then this reduces volume a bit, so you have to compensate.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, go smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja.
Yeah, and then you test, get it the same volume, and if it doesn't sound better than the original, you take the fucking dry wet down.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, go fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, go fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking.
Yeah. And I probably put OTT on it. I put fucking OTT on everything. You know what? While we're at it, let's just fucking EQ it for shits. The EQ I use is Pro Q3. I bought this EQ because I make trance and psytrance, and long story short, this has a linear phase mode, and most EQs sort of cause phasing, and it doesn't really matter for fucking dubstep, like, at all, because you can't hear it because there's so many fucking frequencies in like dubstep basses. But you know, for psytrance, and I use this later here too. But this EQ, it does the fucking job.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, go fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck you.
And yeah, I just fucking low cut it. Like, no need to complicate things. I'll do the surgical stuff later. OTT.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, go.
That sounds better already.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, go fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking.
And then.
Smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Okay, we're pretty fucking close. Next step. This is where we get into my real secret sauce. Put another EQ on it. Audio effects, plugins. And what I'm going to do with this EQ is I'm going to take just the high information.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, go fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama.
Yeah, and what I'm going to do is group it. Control G. Once my computer loads. 3 chains. 3 chains. Oh, that's only 2 chains. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, I'm just going to take this off. Oh, 4 chains, even better. This is going to be my dry signal when it loads. This is going to be something else. I could delete it just so it looks cleaner, but I'm going to fucking... Well, I guess I'll keep this in my dry signal. Okay, so we have these 2, which are just the high frequencies, and I'm going to hard pan them left and right. And then, because I like knobs and dials, I'm just going to make a fucking knob/dial. So just map mode, this volume, map, This volume map. I'm done. Rename stereo. How do you stereo 1? Stereo 1. Yeah. And then you just listen.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Yeah, and what this does is it makes it wider, but it also makes it more resonant. Like you really get the
smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Smoking all the ganja. I don't know. It just sounds fucking awesome. So yeah, that's stereo 1. Now you're probably wondering why I put stereo 1 there when there's only one stereo knob so far. So far. Yeah, so we got this fucking chain over here. Free plugin time. Ozone Imager. Whoop whoop. This plugin is free. Get it, because free plugins are part of your power as a producer. Also free sample packs. Fucking I have every free cymatics pack and some free Loop Masters packs. I paid some money for some packs, but like I also paid some money for LFO Tool, and look how happy that made me. Yeah.
Smoking all the ganja, smoking all the ganja.
Something's wrong.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if. Smoking all the ganja,
there we go. I didn't have it on Stereoize. So yeah, so this is a Stereoizer plugin, and I'm not using it the way it's supposed to be used. So this plugin has 2 stereo modes. So that means I'm gonna make 2 more stereo tracks. I guess I can start naming these. Left. Oops. Right. I'm using Command R. Left, right, stereo 2. Stereo 3. Yeah. Oh yeah, and dry signal. Yeah, that looks about right. So we're gonna do stereo 2 right now.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama.
And yeah, so I toggled it, I tuned it. I feel like this sounds good around here.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
I mean, I'll try it some other places just to be sure.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama.
And yeah, that sounds nice and resonant right there. And then I'm gonna just process this right here. I'm just gonna use a normal EQ. It's pretty annoying for me to always use Pro Q, because it just means I have to click stuff more, and this is a big project, so stuff doesn't load too quickly. So yeah, just a normal EQ.
Smoking all the ganja, the
Oh, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna throw a fucking bass mono, just to be safe. So the reason I'm doing that is, long story short, you always want your bass frequencies in mono, and stuff gets wider as it goes into the higher ranges. That's part of the reason that I only did the high frequencies on my hard pan left and right. But yeah, I'm just gonna put a bass mono right on this signal, just so I know. Like,
smoking all the ganja.
This makes it go mono under 120, and
smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
There looks like there's some shit up in the hundreds there. So yeah, like, bass mono, just to be safe. Cover your ass, because you might be in jail.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you.
And then I'm gonna take a bump somewhere.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Yep, and that's done. So I'm just gonna make a button. Stereo 2. And then while I'm at it, I guess I'm just gonna Command R. Stereo 3.
Smoking all the
On map. So we got. Yep, and then I'm just gonna copy these effects. Actually, I'm just gonna copy the bass mono. Yeah, I'll just get a new EQ on this guy. Control V. My laptop hates me because I make huge fucking banger projects. Bass mono before the imager. And yeah, so let's listen. Never mind. There we go. So, last time we used mode 2, let's use mode 1 this time, stereoize width all the way.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
And then EQ it a bit. Gonna have to go back and edit out all my loading time.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
And that's cool. You can see that this
Smoking all the ganja.
The signal looks different too.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck you.
There, and so now we're gonna listen to these two signals.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna.
And you'll see that they sort of sound different, and they have a different sort of stereo place. So I don't know about these ones, I have to listen more, but when I first did it, my stereo 2 was really sort of high up here, and then the other stereo felt sort of lower. So it really, when I added them all in small amounts, it made my sound three-dimensionally fatter in like more ways than one. And yeah, so all the ducks are in a row. Now you just mix it.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna.
Huh.
Smoking all the ganja. Smoking all the ganja, the Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna.
Yeah, and then check the levels.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Okay, so if you look in the levels over here, it's quieter with the effect track on.
Smoking all the ganja.
Wait, did I even do a dry signal? Yeah, I did. Okay, good. Oh, the dry signal's off.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Okay, let's do this again.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja. Smoking all the ganja. Smoking all the ganja.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a group within a group. And I'm gonna put a utility. And essentially what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make it so that the effect rack and the signal without the effect rack are the same volume. And then I'm gonna A/B it, because you always gotta check stuff at the same level to make sure it actually sounds better.
Smoking all the ganja,
So I'm at -9.
Smoking all the ganja,
-11. What's 9 minus 11? That's gonna be negative. I know this. -3?
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
No. What's 11 minus 9? 3.
Smoking all the ganja, the
Maybe I'm just stupid.
Smoking all the ganja, the Smoking all the ganja, the Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck. Smoking all the ganja, the Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Yeah, so now, does it sound better?
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
So this sounds a little too resonant to me. Like, I feel like the original still had a little more balls, so I'm just gonna take a few dB off of all of these. Let's go 3. 1, 2, 3. I'll go 4 on you. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
11.5.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck.
Yeah, and it's still a little up in the air, but I think that does sound better. And let's A/B it.
Smoking all the ganja, the Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Yeah. So I think, believe it or not, like, it might not sound like we're close, but we're only one step away. Next, do a reverb. This is the real secret sauce. Dry wet all the way up. Put it in another group. Create chain. Wheel of death. Okay. Dry. I'll just call it wet. And then macro map. I'll get rid of you. Reverb level. So we're gonna work on just the wet track.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
And then so what I did is I processed and I sidechained just the reverb. And I did it to the kick and the snare. And I set the release times differently for the kick and the snare. Why? Ultimately, because I could. Because generally, so your kick is 1, your snare is 2. There's a lot more stuff in dubstep between 1 and 2 than between 2 and the next one. So I could just afford to have like a slower release. And I think the 2 different release times sound cool. So I'm just going to collapse all this shit so I can see the kick and the snare. I have all these extra audio tracks because I'm trying to make the second drop and not quite succeeding. Jesus, a lot of shit. I'm just gonna group these guys and shrink them. There we go. Nothing's ever easy anymore. Yeah, that's close. That's close enough.
Smoking all the ganja. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Okay, so I'm just gonna solo this with the kick and the snare. Oh, the reason this doesn't sound super good right now is because it's off the beat. I'm kind of lazy, so I'm just going to quantize it. And then we want to line it up. Yeah, and so that's ultimately, it's not perfect, and if it sounds kind of bad, it's just because the rhythms are sort of off. But yeah, so then compressor, fucking load these guys in here. Turn you off for now. Sidechain from. Kick. And then I'm just gonna listen to it. Attack, release, small, dry wet all the way. That sounds fucking cool already. And then I'm gonna play with the look ahead. What the look ahead just means is, because this is ducking the volume for the kick, the look ahead just makes it duck early. I'm gonna put it to a millisecond. It could be 10, I can play around with that later. And then I don't want it to release right away. I'm gonna take the attack up by like, I'm just using my arrow key, like a couple of quarters of a millisecond. Now go to 2 and then 1 down. And now I'm gonna play with the release time and see what sounds best. Honestly, that kind of sounds fine. Yeah, and then take the threshold up. Or actually, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it totally fucked and see how it sounds later. And I'm gonna I'll adjust the parameters properly in a bit. Sidechain. I want to hear how it sounds with the whole sample. But yeah, eventually, like, once I hear it, once I adjust it, I'll take the ratio down a bit, or I won't. I'll play with the threshold, and I'll make it a little bit obvious, like, I'll exaggerate the sidechain a bit, and then take the dry wet down. But I'm not going to do that quite yet. So this is to the snare. Yeah, and so with the snare, I noticed earlier I can afford a bigger release time, which I think sounds kind of cool. Yeah. Turn them both on. So that, I should adjust it, but I'm just going to listen to how it sounds.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Go fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama.
And yeah, that sounds totally fucked, but that's okay. I was just curious. So time to adjust the times. Probably here. Somewhere here. And the thing is, the threshold on the snare can afford to be a little bit lower, because it's like, The times that it's ducking are on the off beats, if that makes sense. Or not the on beats, but they're on less important beats. So it's kind of okay for the reverb to be quieter in the less important stuff. And what it does is it sort of just gives it dynamics as a whole. So is it done? Probably not, but let's listen.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck.
Let's take the delay time down, or decay time.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. Smoking.
And then back here.
Smoking all the ganja,
Oh man.
smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. Smoking.
I mean, it still sounds good. It doesn't sound as crispy. It's probably because there's more OTT on the other one.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If smoking all the ganja, smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. Smoking all the ganja, smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Hold on. Let's just...
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the 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 marijuana.
And then what I did after, I put some OTT on it. And I'm pretty sure I put OTT on just the reverb and the thing as a whole. But there's only one way to find out.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama.
And then, yeah, I'm going to listen to just the reverb signal, because the OTT brings out some cool reverb effects.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama.
I guess.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna.
Yeah, I think 100% on the reverb. Let's hear it.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna.
Yeah, that sounds like that was the sauce. So now, you listen to it.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama.
Then some more OTT. One of the reasons I use so much OTT is because it's a multiband compressor, and essentially what it does, in this case, it just makes all the frequencies closer to this middle region, because anything above here gets squashed, and anything below here gets increased. So like it just makes sounds easier to use, because say like you have a sound that's really fat in the mids, but like in order to turn it up so you can hear the entire sound, the mids are peaking, essentially. So OTT just fucking, it helps make stuff more uniform. And it makes stuff sound, and it allows you to turn stuff up louder.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna.
I think I'm going to use it with a low time, and maybe parallel?
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama.
And the original?
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck.
So, am I going to be able to get it exactly the same? Probably not. I could mess with the form on.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if.
Oh, I can.
Smoking all the ganja. Smoking all the ganja. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the sound, essentially. Did it turn out exactly the same? Nope. But I don't think I could have repeated it. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, there was another effect I used in the beginning. So let's see if that is what it takes. So it's the delay plugin, and I'm just going to turn everything else off. So delay. So essentially, the delay, if you put the delay time really high, and I'm going to take the feedback down, but if you put the delay time high, it makes the robot voice.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mom. Smoking all the ganja.
Can you guys hear that?
Smoking all the ganja, smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
And then I'm putting this on, and so this has a filter. I took the filter up because I'm thinking I'm gonna put this on ping pong delay. That shit stereo, and I don't want any of the bass frequencies to be wide. But yeah.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck.
And then you adjust the dry wet.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon'
I think that was the sauce for the day. Let's just.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck.
Yeah. Couple other things I also did. Obviously, I sidechained it. I'm just gonna take these guys and put them in the front. There we go. Oh man, I just remembered something else I did too. I was plugging away at this for a few hours, so goo compression, saturation, right? Camel Crusher. Camel Crusher, also free. Free plugins are part of your power as a producer. Free plugins are part of your power. Yeah, let's just FPPP. Let's compress it before we distort it. So yeah, glue compressor. I use glue compressor more than the normal compressor, just because it's easier. Like it has a cleaner interface, I think, and it's sort of easier to understand what you're doing. So I normally use 2 compressors, but I don't, just to get different tones, but I don't put the dry wet all the way. I toggle the dry wet on almost everything. So we got first glue I like to use one with a small ratio first, just because it's easier. I can snap the ratio down and we're already getting a bit of movement.
The marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama.
And yeah, so it just, sometimes I can turn the ratio down and it'll make the needle move already, and it just gives a small amount of nice compression. So then attack and release all the way up, and then you just listen.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. Smoking up.
Honestly, it sounded kind of good right here. If you don't know what I'm doing, I click it, and then I cycle through with the arrow keys. Always use arrow key, because it's easier. It means I can increase and decrease stuff by 1 increment, and it makes it a lot easier to just listen.
Smoking all the ganja.
When it goes back.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna, if not I fuck. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
I mean, I feel like, oh shit, low battery. Plug you in. I feel like it sounded good here, but it also sounded good over there. I think I'm gonna go with the slower attack on this one. just because. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the release. I'm just going to listen to it.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you want. Smoking all the ganja.
And yeah, I feel like I can hear some cool overtones somewhere around here. So then we A-B it.
Smoking all the ganja. Smoking all the ganja, the
Hey, they almost sound like the same volume.
smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja.
Minus 16, minus 12, 4 dB up.
Smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you.
I think I'm just, this one, I can't really hear the difference. I'm just going to put it somewhere between 50 and 30%. That's probably fine for now. Second compressor, this is going to be the hardcore one. Do the same thing.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
But this time, it's easier to hear compression when stuff's quiet. So this one I'll threshold all the way.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all.
And yeah, that's a good amount of compression. I think you normally want between 0 and 10 or 5 to 10. Like, that's a good amount of needle movement. Compare volumes.
Smoking all the ganja.
Minus 20.
Smoking all the ganja.
Minus 9. So that's 10.
Smoking all the ganja. Smoking all the ganja. Smoking all the ganja. The marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mom. Smoking all the ganja. The marijuana.
And then compare it. Does it sound better?
Smoking all the ganja. The marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking.
Yeah, and I think the compressed signal sounds better. There's a lot of cool overtones in there. Or yeah, it just sounds fuller. So maybe, I don't know, maybe whatever's peaking just got closer to everything else. Next, distortion algorithms. I have saturator and a camel crusher. Hypothetically, I could use Cymatics Diablo Lite. Also free. FPPP. Free plugins are your producer's power. Yeah. I have a feeling that that's not going to sound too good, though. So yeah, so one cool thing, just like a good rule of thumb for post-processing is, once you got the sound all sculpted and sort of clean, you try out different distortion algorithms because you're looking for different cool flavors, like a different warmth or overtones or undertones, just different tones. Yeah, so I start with the basic saturator,
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
and then 5 dB up, 5 dB down.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck.
I think it sounds better with. I'm not going to leave the dry wet all the way, just because I'm going to put different types of distortion on it. Let's do somewhere between 50 and 70. I'm going to close my eyes. Oh, that was 0. There. 62. That's a stupid number. 70. Perfect.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
And then, because we're here, I'm just going to play with some of the different distortion algorithms in our saturator. I'll turn this guy off for now. And I'm just selecting analog clip. I'm unselecting it. And now I can cycle through with my arrow keys and just listen.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
So yeah, this sounds fucking cool. Like, I'll play with the bass a bit.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck.
That honestly. Oh, the dry wet's still down.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
It's a little distorty, but that's because the volume's higher. So I'll get the volume the same. I'll put the drive up a bit just so we get some of that extra flavor. Take the output down like 10.
Smoking all the ganja, smoking all the ganja, the
That sounds about the same.
smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Wow, so these sound the same, but if you look at the decibels with it on,
Smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja.
it's quieter. Maybe it does sound quieter. So just take the output up a bit.
Smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja.
Minus 11.
Smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja.
So yeah, now they're the same volume, but with the distortion,
Smoking all the ganja, the
it sounds louder. But there's there's a little bit of dirtiness and there's a little bit of grit, and I don't want too much grit. So I'm just gonna 70.
Smoking all the ganja, smoking all the.
No, not 70. I think I'm gonna have this under 50, somewhere there, just to give a little bit of crunch, and because we already have this saturator.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking up.
And so if you listen with both of them on, it brings it higher. There's more high frequencies, but I can't hear the bass ones. So it's completely up to you how you want to saturate it. If you like the
Smoking all the ganja.
if you like the darker sound, then by all means go for it. Next, Camel Crusher. I just want a clear preset. Once again, we're listening.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama.
And it's off.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Let's take the fucking volume down a bit.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And then the compressor.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
And then get the volume the same. I'm just gonna earball it.
Smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja.
Okay, I looked.
Smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
And yeah, once again, I can hear more of the lower volume without this. So I'm gonna take the mix quite a bit down.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja.
Minus 21.
Smoking all the ganja. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the.
And yeah, so it actually, and once again, same volume, sounds louder with this guy. And sounding louder is cool because that means you don't have to turn it up as much to get the same effect. Which means you save headroom, which means everything else in your mix can be louder.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama.
Yeah. And just for shits and giggles, try Cymatics Diablo. More distortion algorithms.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mom.
I don't really need the punch. Clip.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama.
And then I'm just gonna do like.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you want.
And now let's A-B it.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck.
And then we should probably EQ it a bit. Audio effects, EQ it. It's pretty much ready though. And then bass mono, just to be safe. Always be safe with bass mono. I guess we should put this before the EQ, but the order doesn't really super matter.
Smoking all the ganja.
And yeah, look at all this shit down here we have to clear out. In fact, I'm gonna use Pro Q for that. Plugins, Pro Q. Just to be safe, like, it doesn't really matter. This sounds so close to done that, like, it doesn't really matter.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mom. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you want. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you.
And this is a little loud, so I should probably.
Smoking all the ganja, the
And then let's hear it with the kick and the snare.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you.
I guess let's just hear it with the whole damn song. I'll turn the original off. It is off.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama.
And yeah, I can't really think of anything else to do. We ended up covering a lot there. You could probably, well, yeah. After this, I guess we could just sidechain it to the fucking kick bass. There's probably a lot of people that say you shouldn't sidechain vocals, but with all the fucking post-processing we did, this is pretty much sound design. And, like, you can sidechain your basses, and this vocal is now a bass.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you.
Yeah, so let's just fucking do it. Compressor, audio effects, compressor, makeup. I mean, I guess I could have just made one and duplicated it. Sidechain from, kick. And yeah, like, I could have ended the tutorial, but I think the reason I'm doing this extra sidechain work is just because, like, everybody needs to know how to sidechain. And maybe someone's going to say I'm doing it wrong, and maybe they'll show me how to do it right. Hey, but I think I'm pretty close. So step one, exaggerate it. I'm just going to assume that there needs to be a look ahead. I could make the look ahead 10. I could make it 1. I'm going to make it 1 kind of to be safe. If the reason you would make it 10 is if you're sort of sidechaining for a musical effect. Like you like to hear the like the ducking and the sucking. Ha. But yeah.
Smoking all the ganja, the smoking all the ganja, marijuana. Smoking all the ganja.
Let's take you up. Just make you not quite 0 on the attack. Yeah, that's a good groove. I'm getting hot over here. Ugh. And yeah, so then what you do, just pull this up. And what I try to do is I exaggerate the sidechain a bit. Like, I leave the threshold so it's just too low. And then I just play with the dry wet. Yeah. Actually, fuck this compressor. I'm just gonna duplicate it over and switch it to snare, and then play with the settings a bit. Kick. The reason it says kick D is because I always put the key that my sample is in, or just over my kick, because like, it doesn't matter as much for dubstep, but it's always good to have your kick and your sub bass to be the same note. And I always compose the song, or I choose the key that I compose my song in based on the key of the kick I choose. And if anything, even if it doesn't matter, like, what it does is it keeps me making music in different keys, so that not all my keys are in D minor. It just makes it easier to get yourself out of composing in C, because C doesn't make a very good bass note. I think your best bass notes are E, which is 20 hertz. That's the lowest our ear can go. I think it's E to A or something. And I know, like, a B is 60 hertz. So yeah, 20 to not quite 60 hertz. That's the real key you want your song in. Yeah, but D's fucking, I don't know, D's fine. Like, actually, maybe that's why we can't hear my sub bass. But yeah. Anyway. Snare. Let's do the old exaggeration. And then I know I can get away with a slower release here. Another thing you do is you toggle the release time. You get it where you want it, and then you just click auto and see if the automatic release sounds better than your aural release. I say aural, A-U-R-A-L. Aural is to do with ears, and oral is with your mouth. But yeah, just to see if your aural senses are working. I think I could do it a bit faster. And yeah, so this way it has a cool suck in it. You have a cool suck in it. But yeah. And then yeah, just take this somewhere. Yeah, and now just also when I'm A-Bing stuff, I just press 0. That's another way to make it easier to just A-B stuff. So does it sound better? Not cool. A little. Let's take you down to 10%. Take you down not quite 10.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck.
And yeah, I think that's the sauce right there. And yeah, so notice how my dry wet and my release times are a lot smaller on the kick side chain. And that's simply because I think those are, at least in this song, those are more important beats. And so you really want the voice to be full value and powerful on the important beats, right? So like, listen to this. Smoking on the ganja, the marijuana, da 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 da. Like I'm accenting the ones. We're smoking on the ganja, the marijuana, da, da. Like I don't know. The second one's sort of swingy, but yeah. So like I think it just sounds heavier and it sounds better with I don't know, a more conservative compression on the kick and less so on the snare. Because on the snare, you get the cool fucking, like, I don't know, the cool suck back motion.
Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna.
And now, so let's listen to it with the entire fucking song. Let's even do...
Marijuana, gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama. Smoking all the ganja, the marijuana. Gon' fuck you if you wanna. If not, I fuck your mama.
And yeah, that's honestly pretty much it. Listen to the original.
Smoking all the ganja, smoking all the ganja, the marijuana.
Yeah, you know what? Close enough. And with that, I end this tutorial.